Hello, this is Millicent, and this is video number 2 um, in my initiative to stop using the word minority as it refers to people. And so the last time I was with you, I talked about a little bit of the definition. I talked about where the word actually comes from and what it really means. And as I stated before, the word minority basically meant smaller part or number, a number, a part, amount forming less than a whole. It also meant just the state or condition of being smaller, um, again, smaller or junior. But the interesting thing that I found out was that the actual term as refers to people, when you talk about minority, that definition didn't change until 1919, and the definition became the meaning became meaning a group of people separated from the rest of a community by race, religion, language, etc. And that was in 1919. So the original word only means less than as far as numbers, but in 1919, referring to people was added. And so when we think about that and you put that together in some type of term, you realize that people weren't originally a part of the meaning of that word, and it was added later. So another definition of the word minority is a culturally or ethnically or racially distinct group that coexists with but is subordinate to a more dominant group. As the term is used in the social sciences, this subordinacy is the chief defining characteristic of a minority group. As such, minority status does not necessarily correlate to population. In some cases, one or more so-called minority groups may have a population many times the size of the dominant group, as was in the case of like in South Africa under apartheid. So the word minority is not a word that we should use as referring to people. A sociologist by the name of Lewis Worth defined minority actually in 1945 as any group of people who, because of their physical or cultural characteristics, are singled out from others in the society in which they live for differential and unequal treatment, and who therefore regard themselves as objects of collective discrimination. He goes to say more about the term minority connoting discrimination, and is usually referred to a subordinate group. And is also and is interchangeable. A subordinate group is interchanged with minority. So those definitions show you, and this is back, like I said, 1945, that referring to a people, even referring to not just those who are a different skin color or have a different language or a different nationality or a different physical appearance, but we also talk about the LBGT. I'm sorry, forgive me for not saying the letters correctly. That community, or if a person has a different religion, we're talking about all those groups get formed into this minority. People with disabilities, and surprisingly, women are in the minority group, but we make up half of the population. So again, the word minority should not be referred to, used to refer to people. It should only be used to refer to numbers. So I pointed out, like in an election, how many people voted for Hillary Clinton in the previous election, or how many people voted for this one or that one. It has nothing to do with of a people, and we should stop using it in such a way. So there's an article that I came across, actually, if I could find it again, but there's been several articles that have talked about should we continue to use the word minority. I actually have one document here from the, and I'm going to put my glasses on real quick, from the it's the NPR public editor. And it's talking about on race, the relevance of saying minority. And there they are talking about how the America's ethnic and racial makeup changes. So does the nation's language and the consensus over acceptable word usage. One word that slowly is becoming more challenged and is likely to get a big workout over the coming years is minority. And then they go to explain that more. But if you want to look up that particular article, it's NPR public editor with Poynter's Kelly McBride, and again it's called On Race, the Relevance of Saying Minority, and that was actually in 2014. So this has been talked about and discussed for years now, on where we need to stop using the word minority when it refers to people. So in that, we have, I looked up what they called the 7 key minority groups, and they're Latinos, they're African Americans, Asian Americans, Arabs, and other Middle Eastern Americans, Native Americans, Native Hawaiians, Pacific Islanders, and Alaska Natives. So those groups of people are considered a minority. And as I stated again before, that no group of people are a minority. No one's less than anyone. I'm not, a white person is not less than me. I'm not less than a white person. I'm not less than anyone. No one is. And we need to stop using that, and you need to fight against that. So any aftermath of what has happened with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and some of the other people who have died at the hands of the police, who are made up of mostly white men, we need to, now that white people are starting to wake up and realize that, oh my God, I've been considered higher than, or I've been given special privileges because I'm white. They're starting to wake up, and they're starting to fight our fight with the Black Lives Matter, with all the different initiatives and the different things that even business owners have done to aid in this fight, because it's ridiculous in this world now. We have found, if you look back at history, all the things that Black people have contributed, all the things that white people have contributed, all the things that Latinos, our Asian Americans, all people have contributed to this world to make this world go round. There's certain things that we wouldn't have if it wasn't for certain races. And so for one race to think that they still have the authority over other races is becoming asinine. And that's why you have the fights that you're having now. That's why you're having the riots. That's why there's the protests, because people are tired. We're getting older. At this point, we should be maturing as a people, and we're still not. We're still divided over someone's color, and that's actually ridiculous. So people, I want to say again, and I'll be back with a third video, but I want to say again, Black people, stop referring to yourself as a minority. Stop looking at yourself as less than. My Latino brothers and sisters, the same to you. And then my white brothers and sisters, stop thinking that you're better, because you're not. I know you want to be, or maybe you don't realize it, but stop. You're no different. You have to take care of your children just like we take care of our children. You go to work just like we go to work. You have to pay your electric bill, your phone bill, your cable bill. You want to go on trips once in a while with your family. You want to get, you have your religious beliefs, so you go to church. You're trying to, keep up with your faith. Some of you are devout churchgoers, so you want to make sure that you're living a life that's pleasing to God. Or if you serve Buddha, or if you're you believe in Allah, you want to make sure you're living a life that's pleasing unto, the God that you serve. And so, if that's the case, we're all the same. We're all the same. We bleed the same. There's nobody that I know of that when they're that the blue blood that's running through their veins now, that when it hits the air, it comes out still blue, or it comes out purple, or it comes out orange. No, when it comes out, it's red. We all bleed red. So we all need to work together, and realize that no one is superior, and that will make us a better world. So in the wake of all these things that have happened, the social unrest that's going on, this is one word that needs to be tackled, and it needs to be tackled now and immediately. So again, this is video number 2. There will be video number 3, and I want to hear your comments. I want to know how you feel about what I'm saying and how you can help me in this initiative, because don't be surprised if you find me standing down Love Park with a bullhorn talking about this. Other people have stood on the corners and talked about things that they want to discuss. Well, this is one thing that I want people to be aware of, and be aware of now, and aware of quickly. So I'll be back with another video. Until then, peace out.